In this episode of our adventures in Tanzania, we head for the Usambara mountain range and then on to the Swahili coastline. We travelled from Moshi and Kilimanjaro towards the east coast of Tanzania via the Usambara mountain range. We set up camp at Irente Farm Lodge, where we could hear interesting night sounds, such as the raucous call of tree hyraxes and the beautiful hoot of wood owls.
The mountains are specifically famous for their horned chameleons, and although we did not find one of them, we did see some beautiful and rare birds like Peter's twin spot and the red-backed manakin. These fascinating mountains are unique in Tanzania. They have tropical rainforest belts, which were isolated for a long period of time due to the arid plains around them. This means that they are a biodiversity hotspot with many local endemic species only occurring here in the world. A tip-off from locals saw us travelling to the coast via a northern back road that clearly sees very little tourists. Taking the road less travelled included beautiful wooded landscapes, but also showed us exactly why these sensitive mountains are so under threat from deforestation.
After Baloo had to make himself thin to navigate an interesting village traffic jam, the first palm trees started appearing, announcing that we were well on our way to the lush beaches of the coastline. Our first destination was Fish Eagle Point, a remote little peninsula to the north of the town of Tanga. The owners of the family-run lodge actively protect the surrounding area, both on land and at sea. They run various projects to protect and restore the area to its original pristine state, such as coral reef rehabilitation projects, patrols for bad fishing practices, and turtle nest protection initiatives. After a long day on the road, we headed to the viewpoint to watch the sunset as the tide came in over the sand flats. Mornings were met by fresh coffee and a delicious local breakfast.
We tried our hands, or rather fins, at some snorkeling among the nearby reefs and saw a spectacular array of urchins, reef fish, needlefish, and even an eel came to say hello. The Swahili Coast boasts some of the world's most diverse coral reefs with an incredible variety of marine life. Did you know it is also home to the largest continuous coral reef system in East Africa, which spans over 1,000 kilometers? After working up an appetite in the water, we enjoyed local fish burgers washed down by dripping Kilimanjaro beers.
Of course, we also went after the local fish with fly rods and found a few hard-fighting juvenile barracudas hiding among the mangroves, falling for our feathered imitations. Barracudas are the fastest fish in the sea, and even the small ones proved up a good fight. It was also our first time exploring mangroves. Unlike most trees, mangroves can grow directly in salt water and have special adaptations to take in extra oxygen and remove the salt, which allows them to tolerate conditions that would kill most other plants. Our time in this piece of Indian Ocean paradise was truly idyllic, and we highly recommend it to anyone who loves adventure, the ocean, its creatures, or a combination of all of these.
Although Fish Eagle Point specializes in lodged accommodation, they also have a very nice campsite. It is perhaps a little bit expensive, but considering the location and exclusivity, we felt it was definitely worth it. We really enjoyed the protected area and beautiful surrounds, the amazing options for snorkeling and fishing, and the mouth-watering food at their restaurant. Traveling south, sisal plantations abound along this coast, and although a key economic driver for the country, it is sad to see firsthand how much of the natural coastal forest has had to give way to these plantations.
At Poponi Beach Resort, we camped almost right on the beach, complete with palm trees and hermit crabs invading the camp. We explored the beach, watched the beautiful dhows make their way across the water, and particularly enjoyed all the migratory birds that had recently arrived along this stretch of coastline. Interestingly, the bar-tailed godwit is the bird that undertakes the longest non-stop migration in the world, a distance of almost 12,000 kilometers all the way from Alaska to New Zealand.
The Swahili coastline is one of constant contrasts and paradoxes. From its grim history as a key point in the slave trade to today's challenges of overfishing and deforestation. However, we will not easily forget the humid salty air, swaying palm trees, rustling mangroves, countless seabirds, cute hermit crabs, and beautiful fish species. Given the chance, we will be back in a heartbeat to explore more of its wonders.
Here are some trip tips for the Usambara Mountains and Swahili coastline of Tanzania. Join us next time as we explore Tanzania's beautiful Ruaha National Park.